Hey guys, it's me Harsh and welcome back to my channel Baking Vibes. Today we will be making a pineapple cake. It is a very simple recipe for which I have already made my sponges. If you want to see how to make this, I have my eggless vanilla cake recipe which you can see. Also, for all the ingredients that you will require, I will be leaving them in the description box below so that you can check them out and follow along the recipe if you wish to. Apart from the sponge cake, you only need a few ingredients which are readily available in the market everywhere around the world. For this recipe today I am using canned pineapples. You can also use fresh ones. So let's start making the cake. Except for the cake, you will require canned pineapples or fresh pineapples which are cut into small cubes like this. And if you're using canned pineapples, then the water in which it comes from, you have to reserve that instead of simple syrup, or make some simple syrup. And for some contrast, I'm using some canned cherries too. You can use fresh ones. You need whole cherries and chopped ones. Okay, so first we will start by demolding our cakes, and we will be needing 2 cakes for this recipe. And then we will just level it using a serrated knife or a cake leveler, whichever you are comfortable with. It is very important to level so that our icing is very smooth and even and our cake is not wobbly at all. And once we have leveled our cake like this, we will divide each of the cakes into 2 so that one cake will make 2 layers and we will have total of 4 layers. Once we are done with one cake, we will switch it to the other one and do it the same. We will start by taking a cake board or a cake plate onto the cake turntable and then place one of our cake layers. Please make sure that the cake layer that we're choosing right now has a flat bottom so that it is very stable. And then we will start by soaking it in our simple syrup, or if you're using the canned pineapples, the juice or the water in which the pineapples are, use that. It will give it a more pineapple taste. Once you have soaked your cake layer, add some of the icing you have prepared. I am using whipped cream. You can also use buttercream or canned frosting that comes in the stores. You can use an offset spatula or a straight spatula over here to smooth it out. I would suggest using an offset spatula because it will help you a lot. If you have trouble getting flat layers of icing or perfectly leveling or stacking it and you are a beginner, please click the link above and you will get to know more about it in my video. Now we will sprinkle on some of the chopped pineapple that we had, and by some I do mean covering the entire cake layer from center to the edges. After all, it's a pineapple cake, it has to have a lot of pineapple in it. Trust me, it will seem like a lot of putting it right now, but it will eventually get evened out, and with the cake layers and icing it will taste amazing. After you have sprinkled all of your pineapple, some of the pineapple, just pat it down with the hands gently so that it gets stick to the icing, and then we will add in a little bit of our cherries. I'm just adding it around like 5 or 6 of them right now, and then we will push it down with the fingers too. And now to get our next cake layer stick to this one, we will add just a little bit of the icing once again and spread it along our fruits. Spread it on top of our fruits so that this will help our next cake layer to stick to this one. After icing on top of the fruits, we will now keep our second cake layer on top of this and push it down just a little bit so that it gets stick to the first one. And after you have done that, we will repeat our process of once again icing the layers and adding the fruits until we've reached the final one. Now I recommend that the final cake layer that you add, keep the flat side on top so that icing it becomes much easier and we get a flatter top. Now let's fast forward and skip to the final cake layer. Remember that a final cake layer we have to place it upside down, so which means that we have to simple syrup it before. So we will just simple syrup it right now and then flip it over and place it on a stacked cake. So this is how we actually get a very flat top on the cake, which is actually its bottom. So just make sure that all of your cake layers are aligned properly along the edges so that when you're icing it you don't find difficulty. You can use a offset spatula to help you guide, and then once you're done with that, start crumb coating your cake, which is a very thin layer of icing around the edges, the sides and the top of the cake. Once you're done with your crumb coat, just clean your board or the plate so that it's easier for us to get off the crumbs in the next coat of icing. And then once you're done with that, just keep it in the refrigerator and chill for about 30 minutes. After about 30 minutes into the refrigerator, your cake will be ready for its final coat of icing. I would always prefer to use a long straight spatula for this as it makes my icing easier. I would like to plop some icing on top of the cake and then smooth it around evenly at first, and then go ahead and work my way along the sides of the cake. Here I have a small plastic bench scraper or a cake smoother. You can use this for a very straight edged icing. It is very easy to use. All you need to do is just gently keep it at the edge side of the cake and just rotate your cake so that it gets smoothed out. If you press it too hard, this will happen and most of your icing will get scraped out. Don't worry, just apply a little bit on and then go ahead doing it. It's just a very simple mistake which can happen with anybody by just applying a little bit of more pressure. So avoid adding a lot of pressure, be gentle at this stage and you will get a very nice, smooth, straight edged cake. Now let's fast forward. For the decoration of this cake, I will be making a few roses with the purple color for the contrast. So in a piping bag I have a rose tip, and at the narrower edge of the tip I have placed purple icing, and on the rest of the side it's white icing. So now I will start by making my roses and placing them on the cake one by one. If you want a detailed tutorial on how to make an icing rose or a whipped cream rose, please leave it down in the comment section down below and I will do my best to make it happen. Here I have some pineapple wedges that I have cut already to place on top of my cake. in between my roses so that we have the look of pineapple cake and we can know that there is pineapple inside it too. I'm also gonna place a few whole cherries on top for a little bit of pop of color and contrast, and a cake will look really beautiful with that. So here's the look of the cake with pineapples, roses and cherries. But just to give it a complete whole look, I will be piping a small shell border along the bottom side of the cake. And I will be using the purple color to match it with the roses and make my shell border. And that was how easy it was to make a pineapple cake. You see how we can convert any plain vanilla sponge cake into any fruit flavored cake such as pineapple, strawberry and many other fruits. You can do the same thing as you did with pineapple to create many other such flavors. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, then don't forget to like it, share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified every time I post a new video. We will meet in the next recipe. Until then, bye bye.